we're gonna have a man-to-man talk. It's about time somebody addressed this topic. We're gonna talk about the manosphere. We're gonna talk about MGTOW, and of course, we're gonna talk about the main issue, the main problem of this movement. Its ringleaders, and of course, the philosophy, the ideology. And don't get me wrong, I agree with a lot of the arguments, and I approve of a lot of the points that the MGTOW movement makes. But there are certain issues. There are a couple of red flags that are major, that a lot of these gurus, a lot of these alpha sigma giga chads, these gurus, these swamis, will not address. And you see, I am a researcher. I observe and I examine and I reach conclusions. I've studied this movement for years. I've practically watched, every major channel with few exceptions, so I know what I'm talking about. Right. Yet again, I have to make this disclaimer. I agree with a lot of the philosophy, okay? But there are also a couple of red flags that are ignored, sometimes intentionally, and I am here to bring them to light. Okay? I'm all about the truth above all else. And like any other ideology, belief, or institution, or what have you, MGTOW, the manosphere, has its list of flaws, defects, contradictions, and of course, blatant hypocrisy. First of all, okay, a lot of these figureheads or gurus or whatever you want to call them, leaders, chieftains of this MGTOW movement online, here's what I have an issue with them. First of all, of course, they have had a lot of trouble with women. Of course, they were taken advantage of. They were the nice guys. They finished last. They might have been married with kids and then they had to get divorced. They were cheated on. They have to pay, alimony, whatever. They got a bad ticket. They got a raw deal, right? Of course, that is how the system has been arranged, right? The system is mostly against men, of course. But anyway, so they have had bad experiences with women, with females, right? And their only reaction is to have a temper tantrum. And yes, okay, I do agree that a lot of women belong to the streets, but not all of them. A good chunk of them, a majority of them, are no good, they are trash, and they belong to the streets. But anyway, this is my problem, that these men, because of their bad experiences with women, they have this temper tantrum, and they assume immediately all women are bad, fuck women, men are the way, we are superior in every which way, and then we're just gonna completely separate and shit out women for the rest of our lives. And the only sort of relationship that we will have with women is to, treat them that they are like they are, uh, objects to be used and then tossed aside when we don't need them anymore. The classic pump and dump, whatever, right? So listen to this. They have had this temper tantrum because of bad experiences, like babies, like children, right? and they went in the opposite direction. They took all of their toys and they just fucked off, right? And of course, this reaction is to be expected. Of course, we are hurt. We have been hurt by women. We have been taken advantage of, etc. But this reaction is the reaction of a child. It is a temper tantrum. It's juvenile, it's infantile, it's immature, right? Picture this: a couple of kids, toddlers, are playing in the sandbox, and another kid wants to take your toy. So you go crazy, you go apeshit, you start crying, you take your toys, and then you fuck off. Screw you guys, I'm going home. This is MGTOW in a nutshell, with few exceptions. And most of these men refuse to admit this. They refuse to confess this, that they, years later, are still suffering from this temper tantrum. They have taken all of their toys, assumed that all women are trash, they are better, and they will spend the rest of their lives shitting on women and crying about it. Now, if this isn't a beta bitch move, if they aren't bitch made because of this, then I don't know what to tell you. Okay? Let's say that a certain person or a couple of people from certain ethnicities are rude to me or whatever, right? Does that mean that I'm gonna have a temper tantrum and assume that everybody that belongs to this ethnicity is complete trash, right? Am I gonna assume that every taxi driver is a rude prick just because a couple of them treated me with disrespect or whatever? You see, this is infantile. This is childish behavior. This is a childish reaction. And they don't have the balls, they don't have the courage to admit it. It's simple as that, right? Another problem: a lot of these dudes that have been manipulated and exploited by uh, trash women, uh, there's something about their mentality that bothers me. You see, whatever video you click on, all of these men that have been taken advantage of behave as if they are the victims. They behave as if they are saints. They behave as if, and they talk as if they are these innocent virgins, right? That they have no part in their own downfall. You know, they were the nice guys. They did everything right. They provided, etc., etc., and these women still kick them to the curb. How is this possible, right? So I'm here to tell you that this mentality is hypocritical. It takes two to tango. There is no such thing as an innocent bystander. When you have a relationship of two, both parties are to blame. I don't care how innocent and virginal you think you are. A lot of these men refuse to admit, and they refuse to accept, and they refuse to confess that they hold part of the blame as well. Okay? You've made some mistakes as well, not just your female partner. Okay? All of these dudes act as if they have never done anything wrong, as if they are angels, right? This is hypocrisy at its finest, and I will not tolerate it. I, for one, refuse to tolerate hypocrisy of any kind, right? I've done nothing wrong. These women, though, something ain't right with them. But me, on the other hand, I'm just this fucking angel. I'm just this nice guy that was taken advantage of, right? There's no such thing, okay? And I personally know a few men who got divorced, and they think that it's all the woman's, you know, it's because of her and her bullshit, right? These men do not have the ability to discern just how flawed, right? Just how flawed they are. They think that they are great. They think that they are immaculate. They think that they have done nothing wrong, period. And it's all the woman's fault. Well, let me tell you, Giga Chad, it's your fault as well. And let me tell you why. It's your fault as well because you allowed these women to take advantage of you, to chew you up like bubblegum and spit you out. Okay? It's your fault because let me tell you, this happened to you because you do not have the ability to discern the true character and personality of the person in front of you. You got married with a person you assumed, you perceived to be, you know, in love with you, just like you were in love with her. Okay? You were delusional into thinking that she had the same affection for you. Okay? You were driven by illusions to perceive that person, right, as if she cared about you, right? I've done this, and I have the courage to admit it, that the reason that person took advantage of me, that woman, is because even though there were red flags, I was so desperate to get my tip wet and bust a nut that I ignored all of the red flags and allowed that person to use and abuse and exploit me for everything I had. And then she kicked me to the curb like a piece of trash. And I'm ready to confess this. A lot of you Giga Chads refuse to do it. Right? I hate this victim mentality. It's all about the women. It's all their fault. We guys were so nice. We were so nice, weren't we? We didn't make any mistakes whatsoever, right? And I'm not taking the blame from the women. Okay, they should be held responsible for what they have done, of course, right? I'm no feminist, bro. What are you talking about? Fuck that shit, right? But I hate that these dudes refuse to admit that they hold part of the blame. It's disgusting, it's nauseating, and it's not alpha at all. It ain't alpha, okay? It ain't alpha. You have to have the balls, you have to have the courage to come out and say it. Yes, she took advantage of me, she exploited me, she treated me like dirt, but guess what? I wasn't this impeccable angel as well. No, I made some mistakes down the line. Not as big as her mistakes, but I have done my share of mistakes as well because none of us are perfect. And yet, a lot of you dudes behave and talk as if you're perfect. You were the perfect template of what a man, a boyfriend, a husband should be. And I say bullshit. Bullshit, okay? And of course, I'm not defending women. I'm not defending anybody because I see every side. Okay, I examine things from every angle. I do not take sides. My perception is not clouded. Okay, I have no ulterior motives for this. I just fucking hate hypocrisy. I cannot stand it. All right, all of these dudes, all of these Giga Chads are talking about how nice they were and how good they were, and all these women, goddamn, these B words and these hoes, there's something wrong with them intrinsically, genetically, psychologically, whatever. That may be so. But let me tell you, Bubba, you're part of the problem. Have the balls, have the courage to admit it. Otherwise, get the fuck out of here. You're not alpha at all, okay? Another thing about this MGTOW movement that I cannot stand, okay? Working out, going to the gym, lifting weights, being active, whatever. It's good, it's healthy. I'm not against it. Pump that iron, whatever, bench press, whatever you want to do. But you have turned this going to the gym, you have turned your muscles into a religious cult. Okay? This is a religious cult. It's not that big of a deal. Calm down. It's not the most significant and relevant thing that a person can do with his or her life. Calm down. These people who work out constantly, they talk and they behave and they have this arrogance as if they have discovered, this secret, recipe for immortality. This is just lifting weights, bro. This is just about making muscles. Calm down. Stop with all the flexing. Stop uh, turning the gym into this, into this church. Okay, there are more important things into life. Yes, it's good to be healthy. Calm down. Okay, calm down. You know, flex your muscles. Work out, whatever. Be healthy, but do it in a humble way. Nobody really cares. Stop making Stop blowing things out of proportion. Every little thing. Oh boy, I'm going to the gym. So what? Right? I mean, it is a religious cult filled with simple minded drones. Okay? Another thing, all this talk about semen retention, yada yada yada. Semen retention. You know, whatever happened to decency? Okay? Yeah, I get it. It's beneficial. It's good for you as a man, whatever. With testosterone, all energy, whatever. Right? The fact that you as a man cannot stop, cannot help yourself, cannot cease and desist. You have to talk about your semen retention, about your fluids constantly. You have to tell everybody um, about the benefits of semen retention endlessly. There's something wrong with you. You're compensating for something. I don't know what to tell you. It's a bit decadent and depraved and obscene and vulgar, right? Even perverted. Calm down. Nobody wants to know what's going on in your general dick area. Okay, we get it. It's good for the body. It's good for the mind. As a man, calm down. We know. We don't. And again, I have to mention this. All of you who talk about semen retention talk as if this is the newest fucking discovery. Like this is the fountain of youth. This is the recipe for immortality. Bro, people have known this for thousands of years. The same thing with meditation and whatever else. Okay? This is not a new thing. Nothing new under the sun. You all act as if you have discovered God. It isn't so. Some of us have known this way before the fucking MGTOW movement even began. Okay? Stop talking about your reproductive juices in every fucking video. It is pathetic. It is petty. It is even disgusting and grotesque. Calm the fuck down. Nobody cares about your fucking juices. Okay? It's not new. It's not new. Humanity has known this for thousands of years. Thousands of years. And this is probably the most important problem of them all. You see, a lot of these gurus, about a lot of these giga chads, sigma males on that sigma grind set, the alphas, whatever you want to call them, they all talk about motivation. They all talk about improvement, etc. And the advice they give, it's so simple-minded. It's so vague. It's so obscure. It's so not to the point, right? It's so vague that it's so baffling that nobody calls them on their bullshit. Okay? When you really Get down to it. This is the advice that these fucking giga chads offer impressionable young men, these unfortunate losers in the in the dating game, right? So if you are a loser, if you suck at life, if you perceive yourselves as such, this is what a ordinary, usual giga chad will tell you. They'll tell you, go to the gym, work out. They're gonna tell you to improve upon yourself. They're gonna tell you to start a business. They're gonna tell you to make that money, to make that paper. They're gonna tell you to get bitches, to fuck bitches, to treat women like they're objects that are here for your personal satisfaction. They're gonna indoctrinate you that it's all right to treat women as if they are, as if they are not humans as well, just like the rest of us, right? They're gonna tell you to get all the things, get all the cars, get all the jewelry, get all the clothes, get all the fucking, get, you know, this is their philosophy. Pure and simple materialism at its finest. Derived of any soul, derived of any good taste, derived of any elegance, derived and devoid of any elevated uh, philosophy. The goals are basic, and pretty much when you really get down to it, it's all about satisfying your primitive urges. That's all there is, because they equate material possessions, objects, with, I don't know, nirvana, enlightenment, happiness, uh, self actualization, whatever you want to call it. This is it. Get things, fuck bitches, have a business. You are a fucking Buddha now, right? You have attained enlightenment. And this is what I'm trying to say. You cannot be so vague. You cannot be so obscure with your advice. What do you mean I should start a business? Give me all the tips. Give me all the steps. I want to see a fucking essay. I want to see a fucking thesis how you got rich. Okay? And of course, they're going to be vague and say, oh, I had this idea and I uh, acted on this idea. I was assertive, and guess what? Now I'm a millionaire, and I got fucking Bugattis in my parking lot. Right? They're so vague, so obscure, right? They never get to define details because, of course, it's a scam, bro. It's a fucking scam run by charlatans who are pretending. Okay? Of course, they talk about, oh, all you need is fucking confidence. Okay? As if a person can just change like that overnight. A person who was an introvert and shy and timid for the entirety of his life, all of a sudden now has to change just like that, just like um, has to change overnight and become somebody else, right? Somebody who was not confident at all now has to be confident, just like that in the blink of an eye. And they really support this. And I'm here to tell you that this is bullshit. People after a certain age cannot change this drastically. If you don't have confidence, you see, confidence is derived from your upbringing, from your environment, from the people that you were around when you were younger, right? If you didn't have confident people around you, charismatic people, bold, courageous people, you will not be bold, courageous, aggressive, assertive, etc. People do not change after a certain age. right? Uh, it is part nurture and it is part nature, okay? You see, my environment was devoid, barren of any confident, assertive people. So I'm not. I never was confident or assertive. I was always an introvert. Yet a cousin of mine, he was surrounded by rich family, charismatic. They were just shitting out charisma, right? They were all so confident. And guess what? He turned out to be confident. Why? Because he was surrounded by this type of atmosphere, by this environment. I, on the other hand, did not have this. And let me tell you yet again, you cannot change overnight. Just be charismatic. Just be popular, right? Just be assertive. Be confident. Even though you've never been any of these. Just be. People can change. No, they can't. No, they can't. See, these people don't know what they're talking. They do not know what they're talking about. You see, they're always throwing and regurgitating these slogans, these mottos, to bamboozle impressionable young men, because impressionable young men, especially young people in general, don't know shit about shit and they can be easily manipulated. Okay? I have nothing against money or material possessions. Money is a good thing to have, but it will not help you in the long run. It will certainly not save you in the long run. Okay? If you have any sort of self awareness, if you have a consciousness, you will understand that money cannot possibly provide happiness or peace and quiet or this sense of fulfillment. The only way that you can be happy just by having money and things and boasting about it is if you are an imbecile, a cretin, a dummy, a dum-dum. Only a dum-dum can assume that having pieces of paper and Bugattis and whatever is, of course, that is the height of the human, uh, you know, attainment, whatever. Okay. Like I said, they're so vague, they're so obscure with their advice, and nobody ever questions them. Okay. Start a business. What kind of business? What kind of collateral do I need? What kind of idea do I need? What are the steps? Be more precise. Be more concise. Okay? Stop lying to these impressionable young men who are naive, who believe anything, who are gullible, because they don't know shit about nothing. Okay? Right? And listen. And if you dig deeper, you will discover what their true business is. Okay, you will discover really fast what their real business is. Their real business, after attaining some sort of popularity, followers, etc., is to sell merch. All right, to sell merch, to be, to attain, you know, ad revenue from their videos because of their popularity. They will gain financial backing because of their clout. And if you dig even deeper, you will find out that most of their money comes from one-on-one sessions with these impressionable young men. And in these one-on-one sessions, these giga chads give the most vague advice possible, cliches and platitudes, regurgitating slogans and mottos, and they charge hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a session. This is their true business. Okay, they're charlatans. They're snake oil salesmen. Okay, this is their business plan. This is their real business. That is why they're being so vague about it. They have no real business. A true business is providing services and goods that people need and for which they are willing to pay for. Pay you for. Okay, so what services and goods do they provide? What is their big idea? How have they made all of this money? Okay, one-on-one sessions, charging incredible sums of money, doing no work at all. I mean, what are we talking about here? Right? What are we talking about here? These are some of the problems with the MGTOW movement. The hypocrisy and the contradictions and the vagueness of it all is just so appalling to me. Another thing, I'm not gonna call any names because I don't want to insult anybody. Like I said, I'm all about the truth. I've watched a video that really left an impression on me. It was about this dude. He was a bit younger than me, in his late 20s, I believe. He was jacked as shit. And the title of his video and his advice was, you see, men need nerdy hobbies. Okay? And in this video, this jacked dude was doing tricks with a yo-yo. Okay? This grown-ass man was doing tricks with a yo-yo in his video. Right? And this was supposed to be an alpha Chad, whatever. Right? And I disagree. Okay? Men do not need to have nerdy hobbies, period. Okay, there's nothing wrong with watching Star Trek or being obsessed with Lord of the Rings, but don't take it too seriously. Don't go full retard. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? Men do not need nerdy hobbies. You see, I'm a writer. This is not my hobby. This is my calling in life. I take it so seriously. Okay? I don't have time for nerdy hobbies, dude. I'm doing some serious shit, some real shit. Okay, nerdy hobbies. You think I'm gonna play with a yo-yo, bro? Right? Um, you see, this is the problem. We have a lot of immature, grown-ass men who have not realized, who cannot accept that their childhood is over. And this does not apply only to men. Women also suffer from this. There's nothing wrong with playing video games, watching a meme video, doing tricks on your skateboard, even if you're 45, whatever. But taking it so seriously, doing it all the time, that is a problem. That is a problem. Okay? You do not need to have so many nerdy hobbies. Okay, you're not a child anymore. I'm sorry to have to tell you this. Your childhood is over. You're allegedly a mature adult right now. Okay, leave childhood and nerdy hobbies to the next generation of children. You're a grown-ass man. You're mature. You have better things to do with your life. Okay, this is all about nostalgia. And I'm here to tell you, fuck nostalgia. I'm over nostalgia. I don't need nerdy hobbies, right? My childhood was all about Dragon Ball Z. A couple of years ago, I tried to watch the original Dragon Ball in the English dub. I couldn't stand to watch more than 5 minutes. The first episode where Goku meets Bulma, I couldn't stand that shit. And this was my Bible. This was my fucking everything when I was a child. You see, I'm over this shit. Not to boast or whatever, but it's over, bro. Your childhood is over. It's over. I'm not against fun. I'm not against having a good time. But Jesus Christ, this guy was playing with a yo-yo on video, and his biceps were about to burst. Like, how am I to take you seriously? Another thing that is hilarious to me: a lot of these guys, they have created these cliques, these tribes. Right? They get together and they all talk about their man shit. They do manly things. They train. They meditate. Whatever the fuck. And I saw this video with this ultra giga chad. I won't say his name. He was like, you see, when men used to get together, they used to pump each other up, and that gave them courage, that made them assertive, and they charged the enemy without fear, and they leaped into spears, and you see, uh, and I agree with that. The only problem is that he omitted to say was, Yes, it was a good thing back then that men could rely on each other and pump each other up to face the enemy. And yes, they leaped into spears with courage, but they died nonetheless. You see, they died a pointless death. They lunged into spears and they got skewered and they died for nothing. It was a pointless, useless death, meaningless, forgotten in a blink. You see, back in the day, you know what this type of activity was called? These people, brave nonetheless, they were called cannon fodder. Okay? Cannon fodder. Mincemeat. Expendable. Replaceable. Right? And this guy was talking about this as if this was the most honorable, respectable thing to do. Right? Dying for nothing. Right? This is what a Giga Chad should do. I mean, it is absurd. Right? Hypocritical. Jesus. And dumb. Dumb. Okay. This video is getting long. I'm gonna talk about the last subject here. The way these Giga Chads and MGTOW gurus talk about sex, relationships, how a man should be, how a man should think. I mean, it is so preposterous, so ludicrous. I mean, it's so sad, but I'm still laughing about it. Like sex to them is this, I don't know, this hunt, this, I mean, if you tap that ass, clap those cheeks, bust a nut, in the most violent way possible, then you are a fucking champion. You are a gladiator, right? Everything has to be violent. Everything has to be devoid of any type of emotion. It should be all about you. You are triumphant. You are the fucking warrior, right? Treat your partners as if they are pieces of meat without any emotions, right? That you, as a man, should have absolutely no emotion other than it's all about me, me, me. You know, everybody's against me. Therefore, I'm gonna be rude and as aggressive as possible because of testosterone. Testosterone is natural, therefore I am excused from behaving like an animal, like a beast in public. Right? This is how they talk about this. This is how they view sex. I mean, the fuck? Right? This is inhuman. This is subhuman behavior. And the most important of all, this is childish thinking. Childish, immature, juvenile. Nobody can tell me any. You can call me a soy boy. You can call me a beta cuck. I don't care. This is the truth. And you are a coward if you don't admit it. Okay? The way they fucking talk about this, like, emotionless, devoid of anything beautiful or gracious or elegant or sophisticated, right? It's so ugly and cheap, and there's no class whatsoever in their rhetoric at all, right? Sex to them is nothing but busting a nut. It's some sort of victory. I don't know what the fuck they're like. This is okay. This is, of course, these are symptoms of mental illness, and most of them have severe emotional problems, severe repression, inhibition, and let me tell you why. They are this way, this repressed, and this primitive is because they got hurt and mistreated by a couple of females. And this is their reaction, a temper tantrum. Let's go in the opposite extreme direction. Let's be simplistic as fuck. Let's be simple-minded. Get bitches, treat them like meat, get money, have a business, you know, boast about how amazing you are, etc., etc., etc. This is childish. Childish. There's nothing elevated about it. Nothing. Nothing about this speaks to beauty, elegance, you know, dignity, respect, esteem, nothing. It's the bottom of the barrel, basic as fuck, bitch made, ordinary, average, banal, mediocre, subpar, lackluster, okay? And the reason I'm making this video is to warn all of you impressionable young men who are infatuated with these gurus and with this movement. I'm trying to warn you to be attentive and be careful. Because this movement, it seems to me, even though it has a lot of good points, it produces a lot of dunderheads, okay? A lot of dummies, okay? A lot of dummies who have blinders on, who are extremely limited in their perception, in their perspectives, in their prospects. You know, all of these people seem to be encased, trapped in a bubble, and they know only a couple of things. Everything else outside of them completely does not exist to them. You see? Yet again, it's all about me, me, me. They're the protagonists in their own fucking movie. That's mental illness. Treating people, women, like pieces of meat is grotesque. Trying to bamboozle impressionable young men so that you can scam them of their money for advice that is vague as fuck is fucking disgusting. It's sickening. Okay, this is your business model. And nobody can tell me any different, you know. Look at all of these Giga Chads, Alpha Males, Sigma on their grind sets. What fucking business do they really have? How are they successful? What kind of services and goods are they providing? NFTs? Cryptocurrency? Investments in suspicious and questionable stocks? Right? I mean, come on, folks. It's juvenile, infantile. What is doing? What's going on here? That's what's going on here. And somebody had to tell this, right? Because, of course, if you look into the comment sections, and if you look at the videos of these young, impressionable men that have been mistreated by women, what they talk about is most of these young men, after, you know, subscribing to the religious cult that is MGTOW and working out, etc., what they espouse is women are trash, men are fucking superior in every way, they can do no wrong. Anyone who isn't a Giga Chad is a beta cuck, soy boy, right? And your single mission in life is to clap cheeks, bust nuts, treat women as if they are subhuman garbage, have a business which is a scam. That is their business. Their business is to scam people out of their money, you know, working out, getting a lot of material things that will not save you from anything in the long run, etc., etc., etc. There's a lot of primitive ego. There's a lot of there is a profound narcissism going on here, and it is fueled by pure hatred. Pure hatred, which comes from a temper tantrum, which comes from being mistreated by women. Okay? This happened to you, Giga Chad. That woman treated you like dirt is because you could not discern her true character. It is because you were down bad, you wanted to get your tip wet, and therefore you made bad decisions in life. And that woman, that B word, that hoe, she took advantage of you, of your naivete, and that is why you are on this destructive, simple-minded, immature path that you are on right now. Simple as that. Right? I think I've elucidated this mystery. Right? And this is not to say that all Giga Chads and MGTOWs are, this heinous or evil. Some of them do say great, amazing things, and young men need to listen. Okay? But most of them, holy shit. A lot of bullshit, a lot of hypocrisy, vague, simple-minded nonsense. Be very careful. Be very careful. Never subscribe to anything, right? Think for yourself. Really analyze what these people are saying, because they have uh, the suspicious mindset and ideology of a cult, okay? Of a cult that will not tolerate any questions to the contrary, okay? That is it. Okay? And the fundamental goal apparently is to make as much money as possible, to have as many luxurious things as possible, so that you can flex them on poor people who do not have the same luck as you have. It seems that this is the main prerogative of the MGTOW movement. Well, you ain't got a Bugatti, bro? Well, you're a loser. What, you ain't clapping cheeks 24/7? You're a fucking loser. I'm sorry to have to tell you this. This is the mentality. This is the philosophy. What more do you want? You know, get ripped, lift weights, and everything will resolve itself. You will be God incarnate, right? I've watched hundreds of videos, maybe even more. Not one of these motherfuckers talk about reading books, right? At most, they're gonna talk about maybe Marcus Aurelius, maybe about uh, Machiavelli, maybe about Lao Tzu and the Art of War. These are the fucking books that these people know. They don't know any other books at all, right? They don't talk about art. They don't talk about any other type of philosophy or, you know, a higher state of mind or another way of thinking. They don't know nothing about music. They don't know nothing about kindness. They don't know nothing about compassion. They don't know anything about what it's like to be a decent human being with morality and true principles. They do talk about principles, but if you look at how they talk and how they behave, you understand that it is all a sham run by charlatans. The only principles they have is uh, getting as much money as possible by scamming gullible people. Gullible people, charlatans. And these people believe that this money they have, all of these zeros, all of these digits, will save them indefinitely. Let me tell you, Giga Chad, when the hyperinflation hits, and it will hit soon, all of your millions won't be able to buy you half a loaf of bread. It'll be like it happened in Germany during the Second World War. Hyperinflation. You're gonna need hundreds of millions of Deutschmarks for a slice of bread, right? Your crypto will be pointless. All of your stocks will be frozen indefinitely. All of your money, all of your cars, all of your gains will be useless, pointless, meaningless. Okay? There is more to life than clapping cheeks, getting yoked, and making fun of people uh, who are less lucky than you. Okay? So calm the fuck down. These are some of the main problems with the MGTOW movement. I hope this wasn't taken as an insult. I hope nobody's offended. But it had to be said. A lot of these Giga Chads are clowns. They're parasites. And they will go away eventually. They will not last and nobody will remember them. And let me tell you what happens. Because I've seen this. I've known people that had all the money in the world that were the meanest motherfuckers in the world. Like, they were filled with venom and hatred. And they had it all. They could buy anything, they could go anywhere, and they were mean as fuck when I was a kid. Now, they're old, they're alone, and they're so desperate. You see, this is what happens to these bitter fucks. In the end, they'll realize that all of this material stuff was absolutely pointless, and the best thing in life is to have somebody else that cares and loves you deeply. But because these clowns are so narcissistic and so vile, and they only think about themselves, when they get older, they're gonna have a rude awakening. because nobody will be around, nobody will care about them, and they will die, and it will not be noticed by anybody, and they'll cry on their deathbeds. This is what happens. I have seen this. This is karma. You get what you've given to others. Equal exchange. Again, this is how nature works. This is how life works. This is how the universe works. All of these Giga Chads will have a rude awakening soon enough, because they're so simple-minded. They have only one perspective on life. They think everything amounts to how it was back in the caveman era, where, if you had a bit of wealth, you were fucking the king of kings. It isn't so these days, you see. But they don't know, because they don't have any other qualities than, you know, than being this narcissistic asshole, basically. Okay? And I have to tell you this. I'm really tired of these fucking rainbow pills, the red pill, the fucking blue pill, the black pill, the purple pill, the fucking invisible pill, the fucking gray pill. You need to stop with this stupid nonsense immediately. Okay, these are platitudes. You can't categorize life in these slots. Life is more complicated. People are more complicated. Stop it with the fucking pills. It's over. It was fun for a while, even hilarious. It's over. Okay, stop it with the fucking red pill. I'm black pilled, bro. You need to stop immediately. It's shameful. It is embarrassing. And the reason I made this video is because I, as a man who approve of some of these arguments and philosophies of the MGTOW, I am so embarrassed by most of these clowns who are self-proclaimed Giga Chads. If you really study them, they don't know shit about nothing. They know only the primitive. They only have the instincts of savages. They're simple-minded. They're beasts. They can't be trusted. They're suspicious. Everything they say is questionable. Okay? I'm so embarrassed as a man, because a lot of these clowns are a joke. They're a joke. Okay, that's enough. Okay, if you want to support your boy, I have a few books on Amazon. The link will be down below. That's about it. Thanks for watching. See ya! And stop pretending to be something you're not. Okay, it will not help you. That's it.